Welcome back to Chips and Salsa, where we talk security at Intel. I'm Jerry.
I'm Priya.
Today, we're sharing an update on Intel's security advisories for February 2026.
That's right. This release includes 18 security advisories spanning microcode, firmware, and software updates across multiple Intel products. And here is the important thing, Jerry. 97% of these issues were identified through the Intel's proactive product security assurance.
So, I think that continues to demonstrate the strength of Intel's security development lifecycle, our offensive security research programs, and how, we really have this security first mindset that spans across all of our business units.
That's right. Absolutely. And the partners are already prepared. Microcode and most firmware updates have been distributed through our Intel platform update process, ensuring the ecosystem readiness ahead of public disclosure.
Yeah. And so one advisory in particular stands out, Intel SA 01397. And this one highlights findings from a joint Intel-Google security review of Intel TDX, our premier confidential compute technology.
Both companies will be releasing the coordinated blogs, and Google will also publish a detailed technical report about their findings. It's a great collaborative effort from both Intel and Google.
Yeah, and so joining us today to hear more about this collaboration is Johnny and Simon. So let's bring them on and have them talk about this collaboration. Well, Simon and Johnny, welcome to the show. Can you get started by introducing yourselves and telling our audience what you do here at Intel?
Absolutely. Simon, do you want to go first?
Sure. So I'm Simon Johnson. I'm a Intel Fellow in the Intel Product Assurance and Security Division, and I help run the confidential compute program encompassing both SGX and the technology we will talk about today, which is TDX.
Wonderful. Hi, everyone. I'm Johnny Vollmer. I'm a director and principal engineer in the Int31 security research team at Intel. And I have a team that focuses on cryptography, offensive security research, assurance, and threat modeling. And happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you guys here. So let's get started. Can you briefly explain what Intel TDX is and why it's considered a foundational security technology?
Okay. Intel TDX, or Trust Domain Extensions, is what we refer to as a trusted execution environment. And this is basically a mechanism that allows us to separate software that encompasses a workload from the other software that's running predominantly on the platform to manage the platform. And so that's the basis and the foundation of security for a number of different types of usages.
I mean, while we are in these, securing foundational technologies like TDX, why do you think this is so critical for cloud and multi-tenant environments?
So when you have a technology like TDX that allows you to separate out client and tenant workloads from the CSP, the cloud service provider, this allows the CSP to make claims about how it's outside the trust boundary of those workloads. And we're seeing the rise of things like sovereign clouds, where the cloud provider operator wants to very much, strengthen those guarantees that it's giving to workload providers, not getting close to that workload data.
Okay, Johnny, I think this next one may be for you. What role does offensive security research play in strengthening TDX, from an attacker's perspective?
Absolutely. So in addition to all the standard security work that's done across the development lifecycle, offensive security research takes several different additional approaches to enhance security. So some of the stuff that we do with offensive security research is we take security experts and start with architecture reviews and threat model reviews, so that we just make sure our bases are covered there. And then from there, these same experts will attempt to attack products in a multitude of different ways, either through pen testing or through hackathons, which are these long focused efforts on finding vulnerabilities and exploiting them. And you can think of all these as sort of a more adversarial approach that, when combined with all the standard stuff that's done, results in a lot more secure products.
Johnny, so what prompted the collaboration between the Intel's Int31 team and Google's for this joint security review?
Yeah, great question, Priya. So this is really part of Intel's overall strategy where, in addition to what we do, on the standard security stuff and what we just talked about on the offensive side, we also work with partners to raise the bar for security even further than our own efforts. And so this is actually the second installment of this type of work that we've done with Google, and it continues to be fruitful for both companies. And so we plan on continuing to do more of these with Google.
Yeah, so I think one of the main reasons for this most recent security review was Google wanted to test out live migration in TDX, which I think, Simon, it's a new addition to TDX.
Yeah, so when as Johnny was saying earlier on, we did an initial review with them. That was all about the base features for the separation that TDX was offering, and how Google was going to build out on that functionality. Now, obviously, as cloud providers want to manage and operate those platforms, they've got to be able to migrate workloads around, and so there is a capability built into TDX that will enable, once the operating system is enabled, for the CSP to migrate the workload securely. And so, Google really wanted to sort of like test out the security properties behind that process.
So, Johnny, how did Google conduct the review, and how did Int31 team participate throughout the process?
So this was a very close collaboration that we had with Google. So this wasn't something where we threw the code over the wall and decided to wait to see what happened. We actually had a 5-month-long review process with Google where they looked at the TDX module code and looked for vulnerabilities. And then the Int31 team met with Google weekly to discuss results, triage issues that were found to the right Intel product owners, and help where needed. And so it was very collaborative, and it was something that we're really proud of.
So as part of this work, we actually released a security advisory today that addresses the 5 vulnerabilities that Google found. So what stood out to you about these vulnerabilities, the weaknesses that they found, and the improvement suggestions uncovered during this 5-month review?
So what stood out about the vulnerabilities and the weaknesses that Google found during this engagement was that it really hinged on their unique understanding of the use cases that people have in the cloud and the way that customers are using the cloud today. And so what they were able to find was very sort of unique and something that was enabled by their understanding of security and the use cases. So this is very good to have their perspectives here and make sure that what they looked for was covered there.
So I'm glad to see all the 5 vulnerabilities were patched before the publication. What does this outcome say about the collaborative effort that we have done with Google?
Yeah, Priya, it tells us that it's immensely important to utilize the expertise and unique use case knowledge of our partners. And it's a very solid way for us to push our assurance efforts as far as we can.
So what should customers, especially those in seeking cloud services, take away from this joint research project?
Yeah, it's, as industry partners continue to collaborate like this, customers can have a stronger sense of security and have stronger assurance that their data is safe in the cloud and that everyone's interests are aligned here, right? So we're all trying to make the best, most secure products we can so that we protect customers' data and customers can trust us and use our platforms.
So we've done a couple of these types of things, right? I think that this particular engagement really has started to push the boundaries a little more in the sort of the technology that is used to do the evaluation. So it's not just a matter of we're throwing people at this, but also that the expertise and the technology that Google has also been thrown at the TDX module. So I think it really elevates the security trust that you can take away from this engagement. So we're keen to do more. The TDX module will continue to innovate, and hopefully Johnny, can continue with more of these sorts of collaborations.
So, Johnny, for the future, in 31, considering doing such collaboration in other technologies?
Yes, Bree, we're definitely open to doing this for other technologies. So TDX is one that we've been focused on because it's such a fundamental technology, but we do want to do these with other technologies across Intel. And really, to expand on that, Intel and Min31 are really trying to continue to enforce that whole security first pledge that we have, which is our promise that security is taken seriously across the entire design lifecycle and built in from the ground up. And so definitely you can expect more collaborations with industry partners like this, and just more fundamental research in general to make sure our technologies meet the highest levels of security possible.
Well, that's awesome. And as we close out, are there any final thoughts you guys want to leave our audience with?
I just want to say, I know they're not here today, but I think thank you to the Google team, the time that they have spent, right? It was an awesome job. We found, 5 vulnerabilities, a number of other fixes that we're working on. We'll get to address those. It's important for our customers as well as Google themselves that, we show that we continue to hunt for perfection and drive that. And I'm really proud of the team and the work that Johnny and his guys have done also. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Simon. I wanted to also reiterate that we're very grateful to the Google team for working with us on this. This was something that, as we mentioned earlier, was 5 months long. We worked very closely with them, and they were just a dream to work with. And so we're looking forward to continuing that for years to come.
Awesome. Well, as we mentioned, the 5 vulnerabilities were already addressed, and I believe the cloud providers using TDX have probably already deployed those. Johnny and team have published a blog on N31, the link below. Google has published a blog, link below. And from their blog, you can find a link to their technical write-up on this issue. And I believe, Johnny, correct me if I'm wrong, but they've also planned on releasing some of the tooling they developed for this review.
That's right. Google created some tooling that helped their analysis. And so they're going to put that on GitHub and make that available.
And perfect. Is that going to be open source, Johnny?
Yes, that is going to be open source. You can take a look at that. Yeah.
That's even better.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
That's a lot of great information and amazing industry collaboration between Intel and Google. Right, Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, both Intel and Google have top-notch security researchers, and this was, really a great result. But that's it for this episode of Chips and Salsa. For Priya and myself, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.